use of rubber dam is one of the most important things in dentistry. I think the quality of the treatment ultimately is improved. The patients actually are more comfortable when they don't have to worry about all the saliva and debris and material in their mouths. The rubber dam provides that isolation, that clear vision, that clean environment, the ability to distinguish colors and textures. It's a safety issue because you want to isolate the area so that debris doesn't get into the tooth that's opened or out of the tooth. There's an infection issue. You're dealing with soft tissue that has been infected or could be infected. But the reality is those same issues exist for every operative dentistry procedure. The safety is an issue in terms of something breaking. With a rubber dam, it's going to capture any debris or broken instrument or device or material. So that argument that the patients don't like it, like anything else, it's tell, show, do. It's telling the patient what you're going to do, why we're going to do it, showing it to them and explaining it, and then performing the procedure.
I like placing them because I've been the patient before, so I know how it feels, and when I'm placing it, I'm doing it not on the gums, right on the tooth. Like, I know how to make the patient comfortable because I've been there before.
It may be more perception that patients don't love it than reality. Before I even place the clamp, though, I'm going to look at the tooth and assess the morphology, the shape of the tooth. And that'll help me determine which clamp I'm going to use. I kind of have a preconceived idea based on which part of the mouth we're treating, which clamp I'm going to use, but that could vary depending on the individual tooth. So when one is punching the rubber dam, of course, you have to anticipate exactly where you're going to place it and how many teeth are going to be involved in this quadrant or sextant or wherever I'm placing it. Sometimes it's a single tooth. But if it's more than one tooth, then you have to make sure that you punch so that the distance between the teeth is going to be reflective of what is going to be necessary in the mouth. You have to have enough bulk between the teeth so it can go down between the teeth through the contact point. There are guides with templates that show you how to do it, and that makes it easy. Of course, we always use floss because the rubber dam could break. There are 3 ways that people place rubber dams, primarily. One is to place the clamp and the frame and the dam all together. That's pretty common. Another is to place the rubber dam first, and then the clamp, and then frame. Another common one, which is the one that I use actually, is I like to place the clamp first to really see its position on the tooth in isolation. And then I like to place the rubber dam over the clamp, and then the frame. So it's 3 steps for me. I could argue that placing a good sealant is one of the most technically complex procedures in terms of doing a good job because it has to be isolated well. Now, many people use cotton roll isolation or other devices to isolate the environment, but starting with a sealant, one could argue that sealant should use a rubber dam. It certainly only makes the quality better. Operative dentistry procedures, rubber dam, I always use it, and I would encourage everyone to work with their team to place rubber dams in every instance of operative dentistry. An analogy I like to use for rubber dams is when you're painting your house, that if you hire the best painter to paint your house, they usually spend about twice as much taping and draping as they do painting. And once they tape and drape, painting is easy, but the real work is actually getting it isolated and perfectly prepared and clean. It's because we want better quality when it comes to healthcare, and I think using a rubber dam is really important. Other procedures where rubber dam is really important would be some prosthodontic procedures, some fixed pros work. It's preferred to do the preparations of rubber dam. In the case of pediatric dentistry, placement of the rubber dam is considered a behavior management technique. It allows us to control the environment, to make them feel like they're part of the procedure. Because if you're using a high-speed burr, you don't want that tongue or movement of the patient to get in the way of that burr. And there's no better way to prevent that occurrence than a rubber dam. So it makes them feel safer. So from a behavior management perspective, the child and the adult feel safer. When the students graduate from dental school, they don't realize, I think, they could actually train their assistant to place the rubber dam and then to reward that assistant for this beautifully placed, high-quality rubber dam that will benefit everybody, especially the patient. And I think the need for us to do a better job and a more uniform job of teaching all of the staff who can place rubber dams to place rubber dams.
It's part of a dental assistant's job to place it, and it makes the dentist's job easier. The dentist can also walk away and perform other procedures on other patients while you're getting the patient ready for a procedure.
I think I'm helping so that the doctor can go do whatever they need to do for the day, or go see their next patient, or go see their recall. I have it placed when they come back in.
And to allow the dentist to delegate that part of the procedure would be very important. So we need to do more of that kind of training. Rubber dam. Keep it where I want it to go. And that's about focus, about discrete area, about isolation, about cleanliness, and about safety, ultimately.